Good afternoon to all our viewers and listeners of the NDC Heartbeat program. What can I say? It's just another beautiful day again in Grenada. Beautiful Sunday afternoon. And we have quite a program set up for you. But before we do that, we'll give you a review of last week's episode and we get right into the program. Back with you in a moment.
Previously on the Heartbeat.
I want to say that we now have an opportunity to rebuild this country. And we want to encourage everyone to participate in the rebuilding process. This is our country. Let's come together. Let's put our mind, our talent, our intellect, and let's build it. And when we do that together, we all would benefit from the fruits of our building. All right? And I think Grenada would be a better country. So we got to create wealth. We got to create employment. We got to give labor its fair share. Government will get its revenue from the economic activity and be able to take care of its citizens. And I think if you look at these things together, I think Grenada would be a much better place for our children, not for me, for our children in the future. So there is hope.
You have no intention of going anywhere very soon.
No. But there is hope. So let's not get daunted and frustrated and by what's going on outside here, and that would prevent us from thinking we can do it. We can do it. Don't matter how outside look, how the global situation look, the wars and all of that. We can do it.
Just a change of mindset.
Change of mindset.
Okay, welcome back to the NDC Heartbeat program. Today, Sunday afternoon, and we have a lineup for you. We'll be chatting with Dr. Shola Roberts, a Grenadian who lives abroad and has established Dance Grenada, a rather interesting group which is diverse. And we'll be chatting with her shortly about that organization and what she does, etc., etc. Then we'll be chatting with Michelle Phillip on Film Festival. Then we would, to close the program today, we'll do a rebroadcast of the Prime Minister's 100 Day in Office. So that's your program for today. And at this time, I'd like to welcome to the set who is coming on, she's not in studio, she's out of studio, but we have her online, I believe. Good afternoon, Dr. Roberts.
Good afternoon or good morning from Arizona. Thank you for having me on board today.
Great. Well, it's a great pleasure. And we understand that you are the power behind Dance Grenada. And so please, for those of us who don't know much about Dance Grenada, tell us what is Dance Grenada all about?
Sure. So Dance Grenada was founded in February of 2020, and it is the emergence of two passions of mine, the art of dance and dance culture and music, and my love for Grenada and Grenadian culture. And it's an opportunity. It's a festival that usually takes place every October, and it's an opportunity for international and local dance artists to come together and share best practices, share their knowledge base, share their expertise as it relates to what they have done in the field. And we do that through, of course, the practical, which is through physical movement, through dance workshops, panel discussions, ceremony socializations, and, just overall creating the space and the opportunity for us to engage in the art of dance.
Fantastic. Well, before we delve further into it, tell our viewers and listeners, who is Shola Roberts?
Well, who am I? Well, I'm not a doctor yet, but thank you. I received the title. I am currently pursuing my doctorate degree at Columbia University in New York. So I definitely received that title, but I am an overall lover and advocate for the art of dance. I'm a dance artist. I eat, live, breathe, sleep, dance, and that started at a very young age, at the age of like 6 or maybe even younger than that, because I believe I started dancing when my mom would have, and my parents would have their parties. And I would be the one getting up and dancing and shaking, moving my body to the soca music. And I think from that point, she and they saw a passion and wanted to nourish it. Eventually, I studied in Brooklyn at an array of institutions, creative outlet, and eventually went on to Howard University to earn my bachelor's in fine arts at Howard University, bachelor's in fine arts with a minor in Caribbean studies. So there was a need, an inkling, interest in still trying to bridge that gap between my dance studies and my Caribbean culture. Eventually, I've performed and toured with an array of dance companies, Francine Eot, Caltech West African Dance Company. I've been on the cast of Voices of Congo Square. I've traveled to Cuba with Oyu Oro, and eventually went on to earn my master's. And that's where my passion for passing on that information to the younger generation developed and cultivated, and started to find my own voice as a teacher and trying to bridge the gap between what I know with the younger generation. And so as I continue to do that in a multifaceted of ways, I am still learning, still growing, and still excited about what's to come.
Okay, and indeed you are Grenadian, and you're from the parish of St. David.
Yeah, sure thing. Beaton, to be exact.
Beaton.
I have to give them a shout out, and I have to give the Beaton Community Library a shout out as well. There's some wonderful things going on over there, and so definitely have to give them a shout out.
Great, wonderful. So Dance Grenada, in essence, was established in 2020.
Yes,
Right.
it was.
And what really happens with Dance Grenada? How can one get involved and participate and that sort of thing?
Sure. So this year's festival will take place on island for the first time within the 3 years. We've been functioning in a very virtual platform for the past 2 years due to COVID, but I am extremely excited for us to be on island this year. And so, and if an individual is interested, they will sign up. We have our website, www.dancegrenada.com, where they will register, and the festival will take place October 21st to the 24th. And we open up with an opening class by myself. And then that Friday evening, we head up to Annandale Waterfall at the Wild Orchid to just celebrate, socialize, what would be a Grenadian event if we didn't have music, dance, vibes, celebration, celebratory methods. So we will be heading up to Wild Orchid, and there we will be honoring 5 of our cultural practitioners: Cecilia Griffith, Keith Williams, Livingston Nelson, Gloria Payne Banfield, and Cheryl Barnaby Bishop. And in addition to honoring those cultural practitioners, we'll also be celebrating the 5 scholarship recipients. So we have 5 scholarship recipients that will have the opportunity to engage in the full weekend. That means they will be in the classes, they will be at the performance, they will be in the panel discussions. And then throughout the weekend, there will be an array of dancers. As you guys know, Keith Williams and Cecilia Griffith are on the roster. There's no way that I couldn't include some of our local practitioners as a part of the roster. Then we have some of our neighboring teaching artists, LaShawn Prescott and Renee, who will bring some of their contemporary dance styles to Grenada. And then we have come stateside, and we have people like Carrie Ann and Okoswa who will be bringing their expertise to the field and sharing it with our Grenadian public, in addition to us having a group coming down. So there is this exchange, there's this network happening, and I'm extremely excited about the work that will take place October 21st to the 24th.
Wonderful indeed. This sounds all very exciting indeed. And what kind of numbers do you have in the Dance Grenada? Is it a large grouping, or is it still growing?
It is still growing. In terms of our team, we function at a team of four committee members, but our festival artists, I want to think of everyone as being a part of the team, right? So we have our nucleus, which is our committee members, which is four individuals who literally are close and near dear friends of mine who believe in the vision and who believe in pushing this mission forward. Then I extend out to my teaching artists, which are people that I have danced with before. So it's not individuals that I randomly picked on the street, but people who I know take this craft, take their craft extremely seriously. And then I think of the individuals who support my Dance Grenada family, the people who are always taking classes, the people that are always supporting financially, people who are always watching or listening to a panel discussion, the people that are always reposting and sharing. So I think of the family as constantly growing, yes, but knowing that it can even expand even more.
Yeah, well, that's wonderful. And right now, we have with us WeFM, which is a local radio station, Vibes FM, and Spice Capital Radio. And this is also carried on the NDC Facebook page. And may I ask our fans on the NDC Facebook page to please share the live. Please share the live. Now, tell me something, Shola, with your Dance Grenada group. Do you intend to take it further, maybe to engage the Ministry of Education so that, your philosophy, your planning, etc., can be incorporated one day into schools?
Most definitely. Okay. And so if you must know, my doctorate degree is in dance education. And so I believe that I stand here, I'm able to talk to you guys because of my elders and my ancestors and the path that they have created and laid out for me. And so how do we create that same path and that avenue for the individual who may not necessarily want to be a doctor, who may not want to be a lawyer, but has a deep passion for the arts, something that has sustained us, has given us breath of life. During COVID, you realize that a lot of people were resorting to these methods, resorting to the music, resorting to dance and moving and the embodiment of what it is that we're going through. And it made us feel better. How did we even survive as a people? It was through our artistic practices. And so how do we then create that space and create that avenue for our up and coming generation? And so most definitely, that's definitely in the work. I'm currently in the process of piloting. Of course, I don't want to speak on it too prematurely, but it is something that I have on the list of things that Shola needs to execute. So most definitely. And right now we do have the Ministry of Culture on board. And so just really holding them accountable to keeping these spaces, these avenues alive. It's not only, I'm not the only one doing it. There are people doing it on the ground. There are people that are doing it in the UK. Most recently, Conception Dance Theatre just came back from Birmingham and presented a work and what that means for Grenadian culture, So how do we continue to support and uplift those individuals that are doing the groundwork?
So what kind of dance do you engage in or are you promoting?
Yeah, so most definitely. And not to say that what we offer is the end all be all, but as it relates to Dance Grenada, and my vision is I'm starting off small now, but eventually I plan to branch out. We are focusing on dances of the African diaspora, right? And so during this weekend, participants will be able to engage in an array of dance styles, Caribbean contemporary, which will be taught by me, right? And we know that the Caribbean is so vast and so rich. And so understanding that my vernacular, my way of teaching this movement, it speaks to my expertise and what I've been exposed to, knowing that other people teach it differently. We have traditional West African, which will be taught by Akoto. We have Poppin', which will be taught by Alex Peters, who resides in the UK. We have hip hop, we have soca, we have modern, we have contemporary, we have Caribbean folk. So this festival is not directed to one specific style of dance. Yes, we know that dances were birthed out of or emerged out of various dance styles. And so how do we create access and exposure to those dance styles? There might be something that a dancer may be familiar with, but having taken a traditional West African class can find the connection to how I pop and how I lock, right? If I'm a street dancer, yes, that's my focus, but what can I gain from a contemporary dance class that can ground my movement even more, that can develop who I am as an artist even more? And the idea is for us to think not in our tunnel vision and not in our frame or scope, but to think largely, to know that we can expand in terms of our development and in terms of our reach.
Yeah. Wow. So, what are the plans for taking this Dance Grenada on the international stage? Is that in the works?
Well, I think we are on the international stage,
All
right?
right.
We're in Grenada right now, right? And a lot of people, I teach at Arizona State University, and even when I mention the country Grenada, there's a population that do not know who we are. So it's about time for us to educate, for us to make folks privy to who we are as a country, knowing that we have rich offerings, knowing that we have a dance community, knowing that we have practitioners and a style on the island and artists on the island. We have individuals that are touching base in the UK, in the States, who are doing the work. So bringing them into Grenada, that's powerful too. That's the international stage.
Yep.
People,
Okay.
I'm excited about bringing people into Grenada. So,
All
so
right. Well, that's rather exciting, and yeah, I mean, the way I'm thinking now is that maybe this Dance Grenada could be probably one day incorporated into our Carnival Festival as a segment of Carnival. How does that sound to you?
That's great, right? But I feel like the work that we do as artisans, Grenada's Carnival is great, right? That's a major platform. But I want us to go even deeper in terms of what our offerings are, right? What is the historical context? What is the social context? And so, yes, Dance Grenada could be an extension to Spice Mass, but I want us to understand that we're delving deeper beyond,
Of course.
what is presented to us on stage. Yeah.
Absolutely so indeed, because, I mean, dance expresses really the culture of a people. And this is great. And if it can, get into the schools and so forth, it can be really, really fantastic indeed for youngsters to get in, for those who love dance and, performances, etc. This is great, for Grenada. Because during the campaign, of course, this was promoted quite highly by Prime Minister now Deacon Mitchell, and developing the arts, the culture, etc. It's indeed a very rich heritage Grenada has, and this can certainly be a mega business for individuals who enjoy that sort of thing. How can Dance Grenada now sharpen the skills of youngsters who are looking at it as a business? How do they carry on from there on in making it, a business of their own?
Most definitely. Well, first of all, I think of networks and communities that are created, right? A lot of our information or anything that is successful comes from us coming together as a community and first having a conversation about what needs to be done or what needs to be executed, or what are the various perspectives? How do we look at this entity? And I feel like Dance Grenada, again, provides that space for you to hear the experience of someone else, or for you to engage in conversation with someone else, whether it be through your body, whether it be through oral dialogue, and navigate through those spaces, whether or not this can be a lane or an avenue for you. In terms of career, I want to stress the fact that we first need to create the institutions. And so yes, Dance Grenada is an is an extension of an institution, or it is an institution. But in order to create the spaces for an individual to continue their studies, we need to first train individuals, right? You need to give them the skills, and then they can in turn take that and pass it on to others. Even in terms of how we see the arts used during Spice Mass Corporation, those are opportunities for us to create careers and lanes for those individuals. But then we first need to come together, pool our minds together, and have a conversation, have a dialogue about, well, what are different ways we can navigate and get this up and running.
Great. And is there a minimum age for young students interested in Dance Grenada?
So for me, I do not like to put a cap on those who can be welcomed, right? Because I've taken dance classes where I've seen the babies, the young ones, 5, 3. I have a friend who started dancing at the age of 3 with her older brothers and the people in the community. I've seen people with the babies on their back taking classes and moving. So I don't like to put a cap on numbers, right? Okay. But I think I welcome anyone who is interested. If just being in the space and hearing the drums and hearing the music is something that gets you excited, come. Be in the space. See how we as professionals in the field work. See how we as a community work together. You know, the calling is that, or the asking is that a lot of these classes aren't really offered on the island. Okay, so come down, come. Mm-hmm. So no, I don't like to say there's a cap.
Okay.
Or minimum age. If you feel like you are interested and you want to be in the space and you want to be around, come. You know?
Right. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, time has certainly caught up with us, so let me give you just a few minutes to, do your wrapping up and to remind Grenadians about the date of the Dance Grenada Festival. So it's over to you.
Sure. So Dance Grenada 2022, finding our power in joy and resistance. I really want to drive this home in terms of what it means for us to come together and find joy and power in our embodied practices and things that we do on a normal day-to-day basis. And then how do we create the space and access and exposure for those that want to pursue dance as a career, want to pursue the arts as a career? I think it's very important. And in order to empower our people, it's what's being done. It's through our arts. I also want to mention that a lot of this work is not easy. And so in order for us to make it happen, the financial support, the financial backing has to be there. I need people to come on out and support. If you're interested in sponsoring the festival, we need all the sponsors. I'm going to stress that again. We need all the sponsors there are to make this happen. Offering scholarships is not easy. Find people in, it's not easy. Paying our artists. This is a career for a lot of us, right? This is our career. And so how do we support that and keep it going? But I'm super excited. I can't wait to share and engage and uplift in the name of dance this October 21st to the 24th.
Great, wonderful. There's someone on Facebook is asking about the scheduling.
Sure. The schedule is on our website as well, www.dancegrenada.com. Mm-hmm. Again, the schedule runs over the course of 4 days, 3 days of dancing. And then our final day, GTA has sponsored an island tour and a beach bonfire down at Grenada's Vendors Market. So we are, showcasing some of our gems on the island, especially to those individuals that are flying into the country for the festival. Mm-hmm. And so the first day, will be a class taught by me. I open the festival. So if you have taken class with me, you have seen my dance style, I want that class to be rampant. I want all the classes to be rampant, right? But I open, then we go to Wild Orchid for the welcome ceremony. Then Saturday and Sunday, we start as early as 10 a.m. with dance classes, and there's at least one panel discussion each day. And so we're talking about, how do we find our power and joy in this art form, in this space.
Sounds very exciting and wonderful indeed. And we want to thank you for being on Heartbeat today. Shirley Roberts, President, Dance Grenada, and upcoming festival being held in Grenada, 21st October. Be part of it. Thank you very much, Shirley. Been a pleasure having you on Heartbeat today, and continue to enjoy your Sunday afternoon. Well, it's afternoon in Grenada, maybe elsewhere it's morning. So thank you very much again. And we'll be encouraging the local radio stations indeed to just give a reminder about this event, Dance Grenada Festival, October 21st. Put it in your calendar and be part of it. Thank you very much. And we're going to take a short break at this time and be back with you in a moment. Welcome back to all our listeners and viewers of the NDC Heartbeat program. Those of you who are on WeFM, Vibes FM, Spice Capital Radio, we welcome you back to the Heartbeat. And those on the NDC Facebook feed, we invite you back and encourage you to share the live. We were chatting a short while ago with Shirley Roberts, who is the founder, president of Dance Grenada, and they will be having a festival come October 21st. And right now we have another founder of another creative entity. It's the Film Festival, the Grenada Film Festival. And its founder is Mishaida Phillip, and she's in studio. Welcome to Heartbeat. Thank you for coming on.
A pleasant good morning to you as well, and thank you for having me.
Great. Well, it seems as though today is all about the culture and what is happening in Grenada, the Film Festival. Tell us, what is this Film Festival about? But before you do, our listeners would like to know, who is Mishaida? Am I pronouncing your name right?
You are pronouncing
Mishaida. Mishaida Phillip. Who is Mishaida Phillip, and how did you get into founding this Grenada Film Festival?
Well, who is Mishaida? I was born here in Grenada. I spent the last 10 years plus giving back to the creative sector here in Grenada. I started off in 2007, actually. My sister and I co-founded Deja Vu Bar and Lounge, where we created spoken words, poetry at the time. I was managing some of the artists, the most prominent artists now. Then, at the time, Westways, Area Code, those guys. So I've been in the creative sector
That's great.
for quite some time. Um, in the last few years, I went back to school. I got my master's in film with a concentration in documentary filmmaking.
Documentary.
I've produced 2 short films here in Grenada already. The first, I just came back from Switzerland, presenting that first film in Switzerland over the summertime.
Great.
And in 2019, we premiered the first edition of the 1261 Grenada Film Festival in 2019.
1261. What is symbolic about 1261?
You tell me. What is 1261?
Yeah.
It's actually 12 degrees north, 61 degrees
Okay.
west.
All right. So in that context.
Yes, in that context, is actually the geographical location.
Geographical location of
for
Grenada.
Grenada.
Yeah.
And
12
when we
degrees
were,
north.
exactly, when we were conceptualizing the name for the festival, we wanted something that no matter where we go, it would always resonate with Grenada. We did not want to use the Pure Grenada Festival or the 473 Festival.
It's so
We
deep
wanted
enough,
something a little bit different. Actually, it was inspired by the film I was making at the time. It dealt with human trafficking, and we utilized the coordinates in the film as a way of discerning how close that whole captivity, was taking place. So that was the genesis of how the name of the festival came into being. And now 4 years later, we're here.
Wonderful.
With the festival.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, tell us about the festival now. When is it going to be, and where is it going to be?
So the theme for this year, it's celebrating our stories and our culture with confidence. The festival is held from October 26th through the 30th. The first 3 days of the festival, we are bringing the festival to St. Andrews, which is very important for me to bring cinema back into the rural community, which is something we started in 2019. Then the pandemic happened. So we're so excited to be able to do that again. And the last 2 days, which is the 29th and the 30th, we are moving the production back to St. George's for the last 2 days. This is a very important festival, not just for myself or my team. I think for Grenada on a whole, because how we have designed it and what is coming. So we start the festival out in the Ladi community on the 26th. That is a free event. We'll be screening the Malcolm X film. As a way of paying homage to his mother, Lois Little. I think it's so important for us to start bringing that level of wokeness, for a lack of a better word, into the type of the history that is so rich here in Grenada and the type of people that has made world impact. And it's sad that a lot of people, both locally and internationally, still does not know that his mom is from Grenada. So it is an honor and a privilege to actually be able to bring that into the community. I partnered with an international company, Just Media, who is going to be presenting that film that night. So we are having not just the screening, but Simon Green, through his company, Hidden Treasures, is also organizing an historical tour. So we're actually starting from the Grenville area, canvassing the Ladigue area, and then we are having the screening that night. So I think it's a different type of film festival altogether. It's about experiences, and we're encouraging people to actually come and be part of that.
Okay, so where exactly is it going to be?
It's going to be, I should know that, right? It's going to be at the corner by a rum shop, for lack of a better word.
Because I remember where the old nutmeg pool used to be in Ladigue, because I lived in Ladigue as a young boy. And then there is a turn.
There's a turn, yes.
But that's the interesting part of Grenada. Look by the mango tree or by
There you
stone by
go,
the big
right?
stone.
The direction is actually going to be on our website. I'm very hard, but initially we were
That's all
looking
right.
at the Anglican school, that area where the school and the Anglican church is. But in seeking counsel with Wizard, he brought us into a different space in the community
Right.
where everyone converged. And I think when I got there, it just felt as the right space to be. So the directions is definitely going to be on our website. And then I said it's the first, right? So this year again, for the first time since we started the festival, we are now having a Grenada focused night. So that is the Friday night. We are featuring films by Grenadian filmmakers, both locally here in Grenada and from the diaspora, where we're going to be premiering these films here for our local community. We are having a red carpet event for that. And I am so excited to be able to create this space that just celebrates and honor the hard work of our individuals within the audiovisual world and telling these stories. So the night we are closing the evening with an after party at Chillaxin, and we are going to be featuring several of the musical artists from the Butch Grove area or the St. Andrews area. So part of our performance include Deva and also Triple from that area, supported by Doctor Band. So it's going to be a really entertaining evening, just celebrating, like I like to call it, Grenadian excellence in the creative space.
Yeah. I'm sure lots of Grenadians are not aware of the fact that many Grenadians have produced films. You have any names that you can drop?
We have a couple Grenadians. Well, the people who are going to be featured this year, actually, besides, so we have Amanda John, who is the director for Forget Me Not. She recently had a soft launch, and I am so excited that we are going to be doing the first public premiere of that film. And it is tackling a very serious issue that I think people need to come out and support that. Then we have a young woman from the diaspora who did a piece called My Mother Mary. And she's actually, her name is Keiko Donald. And she's actually going to be here as well to present that film. And this particular documentary highlights her mom's experience through the Grenada Revolution. So we are now generation removed, and we're seeing the need to tell the stories of our parents and our foreparents in this situation. And I'm just so thrilled that we have this space that Grenadians locally and in the diaspora are contacting us to do these premieres here in Grenada for us to be able to celebrate those stories. So that's important. We have Neela, who is not necessarily in the film, but in the theater, is the same performing art. Myself as a filmmaker, and there are tons of other filmmakers out there.
Right. Absolutely. As a matter of fact, as you make mention of Neela, let me just pull this up here. She is having acting classes, and this is with Neela Etienne, to explore the exciting space and different acting techniques.
Yep.
And this is taking place on Saturday from 15th October through to the 26th.
And which is
at the
important.
Trade Center, but there'll be a small cost of $25 though.
No, it is important. As Shola said before, this is, the performing arts is a very expensive industry. And people think it's about hobby. It's not about hobby. It's an actual business.
Yeah.
And there is cost that is attached to it. And we have to start looking at this industry as a space that there is expenses, and then there's revenues that need to be generated in order for us to continue doing what we do. For myself included, this is my full-time job.
Yeah.
24/7,
Wow.
365 days a week. A lot of sacrifices go in there where you're deciding between life-work balance. So it's a lot that goes into it. And especially when you're creating and building spaces like we are creating and building to now promote other individuals and give people that opportunity, we tend to sacrifice a lot. And people do not see that and what it takes to put on the things that we are putting on. So that's just from the local context in St. Andrews. And I mentioned that we are actually moving production to St. George's the Saturday and Sunday. And I'm excited about that because, again, this is the first time since we started that we are able to invite international filmmakers to Grenada to be part of the festival. So this year, we are having a director. We are screening the film Single Not Searching. This is a Nollywood film that is between two continents, is bridging two continents, America and Africa, Black Hollywood and Nollywood. So it's exciting to see that kind of synergy and how we as a small country in the Caribbean are having that opportunity to be part of the conversations within these markets. So the director of the film, Michael, he would be here to present the film. Lisa Ray McCoy from Hollywood, she'll be here as well as an invited guest to the festival. Wonderful. And then we have Choma, who is from Nigeria, who is physically going to be here as well to be part of that conversation and presenting the film that night. So it's an exciting time for us local Grenadians here to be in the spaces and in the midst of these individuals to network, have conversations, figuring out what opportunities is possible for us in that sense.
That is
and
fantastic.
and then we end the festival on the beach. With a Caribbean night. You can't come to the Grenada and not have a Caribbean night, a beach party on the beach. So we will be screening Cheese. That is a Trinidadian film. That's how we're concluding the festival this year. So like I said, it's about experiencing Grenada, the landscapes that we offer, telling the stories through the landscape, through the communities, and hoping that we can further the conversation regarding the beautiful stories and culture and the richness of who we are as Grenada to tell outside.
Well, as a matter of fact, I don't know if you had picked up on it, but during the campaign, the NDC party did stress the importance of developing our culture and film festivals and other such like cultural festivals and so forth, and really developing that aspect of the Grenadian economy. It is part of the economy. And how are you feeling the impact of that decision, or is it still in its infant stage?
I believe is a combination of both. I actually decided to have the festival this year again after 3 years, going on our fourth, based on the energies that was echoed from Prime Minister Mitchell, Deacon Mitchell, in the sense of putting so much emphasis on developing this sector. And I really hold the words to heart. And I felt, the last 3 years of investing in this model, in this platform here, giving people opportunities through education. We had tons of workshops, tons of different industry professionals we brought in from both internationally, regionally, and locally to talk about this. So this is something that we have been investing in for the last 3 years. So to be part of this change, an active participant, it is also a good space and a good time to be. So yes, I am feeling it as well.
That's great.
Yes.
Because the dynamics with respect to cultural development and the importance that government places on culture as an aspect of our economy is indeed, fundamental. And hopefully other Grenadians can take advantage of what is being planned. Granted, it's only 3 months, just over 3 months the government has been in office.
It doesn't
but
matter.
A lot of folks feel it's been 3 years.
It doesn't matter.
But
I would like to
it's
add,
going to it's going to obviously take time for it to really mesh and weld and really have it as a full-blown sector that it can be considered an economic pillar of Grenada, at least one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to add that what film offers, the film industry offers the support for all different sectors and all different industries. Because every single aspect we incorporate in the film. So that is a very unique space to be existing in. And I'm thrilled and honored to be in that space.
That's great.
Yes.
Fantastic. Well, time has certainly caught up with us.
Yes,
so
it
let me
has.
give you 30 seconds for any closing comments you wish to make.
Besides saying thank you to yourself and to the team for inviting me, for people who are interested in being part of the festival, they can contact us on www.1261filmfestival.com. All of our schedules, the programs are listed there. Our social media is the same handle, 1261 Film Festival. Come out, be part of the conversation, be part of the experiences. It is something completely different. And this is just the beginning. We've separated the educational component from the experience this year. So come spring of 2023, we are having the second edition of the Film and Television Summit that we started last year.
Right.
That's where we're inviting a lot of the different industry professionals to come in and talk about the business of the business.
Right, the business part of it.
Yes.
Well, at this time, we want to thank you, Mashida Philip. Mashida Philip. Thank you so very much, founder of the Grenada Film Festival.
12 degrees north, 61
north.
degrees west, Grenada Film
Absolutely.
Festival.
That's
Thank
Grenada's geological location.
you. That's right.
Thank you very much for being on Heartbeat today. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you
and
so
all
much.
success and good luck with your festival coming up.
Yes.
And we look out for the promos on the various radio stations, television, etc.
Thank
Because
you.
there's a lot happening in October.
There is, and it's all festival related. It's all
Yep.
about creativity and culture and celebrating us with confidence.
Absolutely, so indeed. Well, thank you again very much. And we're going to go on a very short break now. And we'll be taking the Prime Minister's address, which was done recently, reflecting on the 100 days in office. Stay tuned. That's coming up in a moment. Be back with you shortly.
Fellow citizens, it has been 100 days since our government was sworn into office, with the mandate to transform our beloved Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. We began this journey 9 months ago, during a time of significant crisis. The economic fallout from the coronavirus was the straw that tipped the scales just enough for Grenadians to finally feel the true weight of the stagnation endured during the past decade. The weight of our neglected healthcare services, and the weight of a system designed to keep many of its people in poverty. Our transformational agenda is not pie in the sky, but one that is hinged on a shared vision for a sustainable, equitable, and prosperous Grenada. A nation capable of sustaining a high quality of life for all its people, and where every individual has a fair opportunity to realize their potential. 100 days after our inauguration, I am pleased to report that our new administration has been able to lay some key cornerstones for this future that we collectively wish to see. Most notably, we were successful in easing some of the pain that have plagued Grenadians for years. Education financing. The removal of school fees at pre-primary, primary, and secondary levels. My government views education as a fundamental right and the foundation of a prosperous nation. Under this administration, no child will be denied an education due to payment of school fees. In addition, second chance opportunities will be afforded to all youth who did not complete a primary, secondary, or tertiary education. 2. Payment of dock salaries to teachers and other public officers. Teachers play a critical role in the development of a knowledgeable and prosperous society, and often go above and beyond the call of duty to ensure the well-being of the nation's children. While this was not a campaign promise, my government made it a priority to repay the $1.2 million in dock salaries from 2018 that affected 1,721 public servants. Because if we seek to create a just society, we must lead by example. 3. Payment of pensions. In a similar vein, government will honor the Constitution and the ruling of the High Court on the payment of pensions to the public servants. Plans to this end are well underway. The House of Representatives sat 29 September 2020 and passed the Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2022 to facilitate, in part, the authorization of the $60 million required to pay the retroactive pension payment, which will be paid by November 30th, 2022. A pension secretariat located at Mount Welldale, St. George's, has been created to assist in this process, and pension reform will also be a key part of our plan to ensure a fiscally sound pension and social security system for public workers. 4. Twice monthly payment of salaries to public workers. The rollout of this commitment by the government is also well underway. The Ministry of Finance has articulated a plan of action to deliver on this initiative by the first quarter of 2023. A sandbox approach is being pursued, which involves finalization of the technical specification, consultation, testing, and retesting to ensure that the system, once implemented, will work well. 5. Cost of living relief measures. On the recommendation of the Ministry of Finance, government approved the rollout of new cost of living relief measures, as well as the revision of existing ones to mitigate the impact of high cost of living in a fiscally sustainable manner. The government's new fiscal policy measures include: 1. Petroleum products. The removal of the $15 cap and the reduction in the petrol tax on gasoline and diesel from $5.50 to $0, effective September 18, 2022, for the next 4 price changes. As of 18 September, citizens are paying as much as $2.26 less on gasoline and 43 cents less on diesel at the pump. The price of gasoline and diesel is projected to remain below $15 for the rest of 2022, thus providing significant relief to the motoring public and citizens more broadly. Additionally, government will maintain the fixed price of $40 on the price of the 20 pounds LPG cylinder. Electricity. Government will maintain the zero rating of the VAT on electricity consumption for domestic consumers with usage up to 500 kilowatt hours until December 31st, 2022. Additionally, government will maintain the removal of the environmental levy for domestic consumers with usage up to 500 kilowatt hours until December 31st, 2022. Freight charges. Effective October 1st, 2022, in the first instance, freight charges in the calculation of duties and taxes on imported goods will be adjusted to reflect 2019 freight costs for a period of 6 months. On balance, these measures are expected to bring significant relief to the population from the impact of high and rising domestic prices driven by international market forces. 6. Restructuring of the COVID-19 Stimulus Package 2.0, Phase 3. Additionally, the Cabinet endorsed a revised package of relief measures to support individuals and businesses who continue to be impacted by the lingering effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. Importantly, these relief measures seek to empower and will provide much needed support in the following areas. 1. The extension of the Supplemental Seed Program, which caters for persons who are on or are new to the Seed Beneficiary Registry and were not able or are not currently receiving benefits, with the inclusion of Carriacou and Petit Martinique for the first time. 2. The extension of the Temporary Unemployment Benefit Program, which provides cash transfers to persons working in formal sector businesses who lost their jobs as a result of the pandemic and remain unemployed. And 3. Cash grant and training support to informal and formal sector businesses to generate employment, promote startups, and business expansion during the pandemic. 7. Civil aviation agreements to support airlift. Following an extensive period of closed borders and other hindrances to travel, government has re-engaged several airline carriers to negotiate increased airlift options for Grenadians and persons interested in traveling to Grenada for business or leisure. Agreements confirmed in the first 100 days include: 1. An amendment to the proposal by SVG Air to operate a twin otter aircraft between St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Carriacou, and Grenada. The aircraft operates 5 days a week, coincident with international arrivals and departures. 2. Marketing partnership between the Grenada Tourism Authority and Sunwing Airlines to provide year-round flights from Toronto to Grenada. 3. Resumption of Condor Airlines' weekly direct flights to Grenada from Germany using a Boeing 767-300 aircraft. 4. Amendment to the British Airways Service Agreement with the Government of Grenada. An agreement was signed for an additional flight, which will commence in November. 8. Ease of travel. Government is committed to simplifying the immigration processes related to the entry and departure from our air and seaports. To this end, we are happy to report that the Embarkation and Disembarkation Card, or ED card, has been discontinued for passengers leaving our shores, who can now proceed without the need to fill out such a form. Government also intends to move to eliminating the use of the ED card on arrival at the airport. Additionally, as government moves towards enhanced automation at our points of entry, plans are underway to augment the number of kiosks from 4, including 1 in Carriacou, to 10 overall. As I highlight these significant achievements, amongst others, I'm also excited about what is to come in the months ahead, as my administration continues to lay the groundwork for a future rooted in self-reliance and the creation of generational wealth. It is only by coming together, however, with a genuine desire to help one another and to pull our weight as responsible citizens, that we will sustainably move forward as a country and assume our rightful place among the global community of nations. Grenadians have deservedly voted for change, for real transformation that can be felt, and we intend to deliver.
Well, we thank you for joining the Heartbeat today, and join us again next Sunday. Same place, same time. Hope you have a great Sunday afternoon. Goodbye.